Hello and welcome to this episode of Beat Teacher Burnout. End of 2025, start of 2026. It's going to be different today. We're going to talk about vulnerability. You see, I've been reading Brené Brown's book, The Wilderness Book. And I've always spoken about the fact that she says that vulnerability is the greatest form of courage. So I'm going to come clean today and I am going to show some vulnerability. So be kind, because I hope it's going to help you. You see, this year in 2025, I've established my business, still very small and in its infancy, and I've worked hard doing it. And I've also launched a book, Void to Value, Where is God in the Mess of Life, which is a passion project for me. It's not to do with my business, but it was 28 people's voices of where God has been when life is messy. So I had to liaise with 27 others. I had one chapter. And I'm going to tell you honestly that in doing that, I almost burnt out. Yes, I just about kept my business ticking over. And I hope I was present for my clients. And I did some amazing teaching events, speaking events. I loved that. And I got the book out. I published it, self-published on Amazon with a little bit of help from an editor and a friend. But actually, I almost burnt out in the process. So I've been looking at what is that about? Was I doing things in a way that everyone else told me I should do them? Was I doing my old habits of trying to fit in, to please everybody and to do what they wanted? So I'm just going to say publicly, 2026, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it with God, with support from others, but I'm going to choose my way that suits me, my authentic self. To do that for you, does that make you feel uncomfortable, I wonder? Have you ever considered whether you do that? So as I discovered I was close to burning out, I booked 3 weeks away. Yes, going to visit family because I wonderfully have a son living in Bali, but also to take some time on my own and to face the discomfort that is. Maybe spoiling myself, indulging myself a bit, resting properly, switching off, but also journaling, reading, listening, learning. And yes, the discomfort was quite considerable some days. But we don't really take time out for ourselves, do we? Why do I do what I do? Time with God. Incredible times listening to God. You see, the core of what I do is learning to value ourselves. Until we value ourselves, we are not going to be our best. And we can't value those around us either in a healthy, effective way. And that's what I teach on. That's the basis of all that I teach on. And it comes to self-awareness. It comes to looking after ourselves. There's so many elements of it. Coming to know ourselves better. I used to think I was self-aware. Oh my goodness, I wasn't. I'm still learning there too. I wonder if you think you're self-aware. Statistically, it's unlikely, can I tell you? It's really shocking. So this year, I'm agreeing to prioritize myself. Is that selfish? You might think it is, but it's not. It's really important that each of us does that. And that might be uncomfortable for you, and it also might be uncomfortable for those around you because you might have to gently say no, or why, or if I do that, I can't do this. But there's so much more to that. Yes, it's good resting. And how do you rest, I wonder? Because resting isn't just sitting in front of the TV. It's not just getting more sleep. There's so much more to rest. It's about getting good exercise, but it's also about finding ways to switch your brain off. Isn't that amazing? Do you ever allow your brain to switch off? I've had a couple of times recently where I've managed to fully switch my brain off. And at one point I wrote in my journal, I feel empty. but I feel good empty because my brain had just completely switched off, and all this overthinking that I'm so good at doing, that I'm learning again to slow it down. But I'm not going to tell you what I was doing, because you need to find what it is that you do, that you can do to find that space of empty brainness, if you like, where you give your brain a rest. It's just extraordinary. I can only describe the time when I realized, yeah, it was feeling empty, as if everything in my mind had sort of settled. You know, when you get I'm in Bali at the moment, so think of a frothy, fruity, fresh pineapple drink where they've fizzed it up and it's got that layer of froth on the top. And as it settles, it creates a layer. And that was like my brain. It had settled right down, and the layer was very low in my mind. So I had all this space. And that's where the ideas for 2026 started coming. Fun ideas, thoughts about myself, thoughts about what I'm good at, what I love, things that perhaps need to be shut down, and things that I could open up, things I could do, people I could help. But also just a peace came over me. The striving, that need to be driven and to keep going. It suddenly started to switch off. That was a bit of a slower process, but it was certainly slowing down. The volume was going down on that. So what else am I saying for 2026 that I hope is going to help you? I'm going to prioritize. When I say prioritize me, that's also prioritizing the people who feed me, who lift me up, and who I feed them and I lift them up. And that might mean pushing to the side some people who perhaps don't do that for me. They have a voice in my life and maybe they shouldn't. Who are you listening to? Are they positive voices for you? Are they on your side? Or do they have a different agenda? These are quite challenging points here. You see, as I look after myself, yeah, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to carry on doing that, eating well, things like that. But I'm also going to put in boundaries to protect my time, my health, myself. And I'm not going to feel guilty for that. I'm not going to feel guilty for pausing sometimes, for adjusting, for questioning. Why am I doing this? But the other really key thing that I've learned from Brené Brown this holiday is I'm going to find the places I feel safe. And I'm going to focus on going there. Where do you feel safe? Where do you feel you belong? You see, I'm an introvert, so I have to go to restore my energy into a space quietly on my own sometimes. But also this year, I've discovered I'm a bit of a closet extrovert or show off. I don't know how you want to say it, but I am really energized by going and speaking in front of large groups of people. The bigger, the better. I love it. I come into my own. I have a message, a passion, and I want to share that with the world.
Hello, I'm Rowena Hicks, and I'm so pleased to introduce this course to you. It's a short, practical, made to fit into your current routine course that I hope is going to help you, because I know time is precious. Staff are frazzled at the end of the day, but actually this fits into what you're doing already. So why me? Why this? Well, I burnt out after 30 years in school as a teacher, a Senko, a specialist teacher, even an advisor, and then a leader. I burnt out. I loved it. I was passionate, but I had to leave. And that just breaks my heart. Teachers are leaving and they're going off sick. This has to stop. So what I've designed is 5 minutes at the start of each staff meeting. You can give your team something small and powerful to build momentum. You'll build their confidence. You'll improve their well-being, their team dynamics, their energy. You reduce stress and overwhelm. And you're building habits to increase productivity, energy, and joy. So each week, there is a short action sheet, because really there isn't going to be any change without action, is there? But there's no extra cost. You're going to be consistently investing in time together to shift how staff feel. Are they seen? Are they valued? Are they heard? Give them a voice. These are small microculture changes. You're going to be building your staff team, and you're going to enable them to thrive. This isn't a well-being bolt-on. It's a culture-shifting tool built for real schools by someone who's really walked it. So let's stop staff from leaving, and let's help them to flourish and thrive in their roles.
So those are the spaces that reignite me. What is that for you? So if you're prioritizing you, what does it look like? You see, when I looked at getting this book out this year, my passion project, and look at that almost tipping me into a place of really quite considerable unwellness. I knew I was really stressed. My kids were saying to me again, come on, mum, what are you doing? Old habits coming back, deadlines. Was that because I couldn't ask for help? Is that because it felt like weakness again? Failure? I've burnt out twice in my life now, and I've had to consider, does that make me feel like a failure? Or can I turn it on its head and think, okay, those mistakes are going to make me stronger and I can help others because of it? Because when I was trying to get this book out and keep my business going, I was getting up earlier. I was trying to manage my diary in a crazy way, rushing, cutting short important things. And yeah, we have to do that sometimes. But I teach that these habits aren't healthy. And I lived it. For a couple of months, I really lived the unhealthiness of it. And I wondered why I reverted to that so quickly. Is it lack of self-belief? Is it wondering if I'm good enough? Apparently, the majority of us, even over 90% of us, have imposter syndrome. Am I going to be found out for not being as strong as I like to think I am, or I like to show people I am? But sometimes I wonder, that confident side of me underneath, there's just a small child wanting to fit in, wanting to succeed. But actually, we don't need to do that, because as ourselves, we are good enough. And I know that at my core. God tells me that. I know that. And you are good enough at your core. So I forgot my rules. I forgot to take breaks, take rest. I forgot all the organizational hacks that I know and I've proved that work to make me more productive and energetic and creative. I forgot it. So they're going to come back in 2026. I'm going to reinvest time in planning them in, trialing them out, seeing what works for me again. So come along on the journey with me, because we can learn together. We do need each other. We need to support each other. Because if I look back at 2025, it wasn't all bad. I got a book out. My business grew, small, but definitely grew. And I enjoyed so much of it. I met amazing people, really exciting people. So what's 2026 going to look like for you? We need to be looking after ourselves, but we also need to be looking out for our team, don't we? Can I remind you of my 5-to-1 statistic? So we need 5 positives to every 1 negative to be able to be in a state of flow. So think about that with your team, whatever that looks like, whoever that is. If you're in school, it can include the children. 5 positives to every negative to be able to flourish and thrive. It's a really significant statistic, that. How are you going to get those positives? And how are those around you going to get those positives? Because in school, it's very fast and very reactive, isn't it? It's quite chaotic a lot of the time. We're firefighting a lot. So how are you and your team going to get those positives? That's when the new course that I've recently launched, in that 5 minutes at the start of the staff meeting, you have to talk to your team, but you're talking not just about the children, not just about data, report writing, meetings next week. You're talking about you. You're looking at your impact. You're building how to spot those 5 positives. Remembering to smile at each other, maybe make someone a coffee, hold a door open. Those positives can be tiny things. How are you going to get your 5 to 1? And how's your team going to do that? So can we start the new year being grateful? Look at all those amazing things that we've got in place, the people around us. What have you got that you can be grateful for? Because this year we need to plan for moments of joy, good moments, but you've got to plan them in. Moments that prioritize you. You might need to plan the gym in. You might need to plan your walks in. Don't make it incidental. Make it happen because you need it. Be intentional. What matters? Relationships? Fun? Making a positive impact in the world? What is it? Because we need to be in a good place to do that. So I'm going to keep journaling so I can check my mindset. I can ensure I'm moving forward, learning, growing, watching for my impact, even in the small things. So I hope you're going to join me in this. Remember that each one of us, you and me, we are enough. We have such value and such worth. We don't need to constantly be proving ourselves. You see, in school, I was constantly trying to prove myself. I never felt good enough. And I was quite successful. It's mad, isn't it? I think so many of us are doing that. We're trying to fit in, trying to conform. But actually, we each bring something really special and really different. I really hope you will share this with someone who needs to hear it. And watch what I'm doing this year. It's going to be a bit different. Maybe I'll go a bit rogue. Who knows? Because I don't want to conform anymore. I don't want to do it like everybody else. We need to be different. We need to be changing ourselves, and we need to be changing culture. Because if you yourself are the only one changing, it's not going to happen. You need everyone around you to be speaking the same language and having the same aims, the same priorities, the same vision. Let's do something differently this year. I'm learning, and yes, I'm tripping up, but I get up again and I restart. So let's do some learning and sharing together this year. I'd love to know what you think of this. I'd love to know if you've got ideas. We're definitely better off together. Thank you for listening. Thanks for listening. I hope you took something of value from today. If you want to connect, I'm at rowenahicks.com, or I have a Facebook group, which is Preventing Teacher Burnout. So I look forward to connecting to you at one of those.